Hey! So now that the second trailer for Xenoblade X DE has been out, we have gotten a lot of new features that a lot of people may not have noticed during the trailer or through outside gameplay, through tweets, the website, whatever. So in this video, I kind of wanted to just go over all of the new features we know as of now that will be added into Xenoblade X DE. I'm not going to go over like UI changes since those aren't really new features. They've been there from the beginning, but there are a couple things that have to do with the UI that are brand new. So, and these first couple ones I think are really interesting that a lot of people have overlooked. So I'm excited to get started with these ones. Starting off with customization, and I'm sure many of you have seen this image already here, but we got some new hairstyles, and the most notable ones are at the bottom left. We have Mithra's and Nia's hairstyle, but one that I haven't seen anyone mention except for myself, it seems like I'm the only one who noticed this, but in the top left is Numa's hairstyle up there, so I'm not really sure how people are missing that. But surprisingly, Pyra's hairstyle isn't anywhere in here as far as I was able to tell, so I'm not really too sure what's up with that. But continuing on with the customization, we have a ton of different face paint options, and a lot of these are from the original DE or the original Xenoblade X, such as the Xenogears X on the face right there, but we also have some new ones as of the Monado, Iserd's ether lines, Nia's like triangle face paints, and my personal favorite, a Cosmos visor. So we can actually kind of have like a Cosmos visor looking face paint on, which is really cool. And that is all of the new ones that I was able to kind of figure out just from looking at it from memory. I'd have to like cross-reference all of them from both games to tell which ones all are new, but these are the most notable ones so far. Continuing on to the actual game now, outside of customization and into battle, there is a brand new battle mechanic called Quick Recast. I had gone over this in my last video, but for those of you who didn't watch it, Quick Recast, you can see, is down at the bottom of the screen on the right side of the arts palette, attached to the Y button, and that meter, that is the Quick Recast meter. Basically, when it's full, you can press Y to further decrease the cooldown of your arts. So it just basically makes your arts recharge faster, hence the name Quick Recast, which I think is very cool, and especially paired with Overdrive, that would be pretty broken because Overdrive already massively decreases the cooldown of arts. So having Quick Recast on top of that is just insane. Imagine you have a tertiary cooldown art, meaning you can use it 3 times in succession. So use all 3, cast Quick Recast to get all 3 of them back pretty quickly, and then use them all again, so you could effectively do 6 arts in a row if it is that fast. So I'm kind of excited to see all of like the insane Overdrive builds and strats implementing Quick Recast. And speaking of Overdrive, we have a brand new Overdrive like tutorial layout combo kind of flow map here. You can see this is going to be massively helpful, as this was not in the original game at all, and the game didn't even explain to you how Overdrive worked, really. It even tell you the different color combinations, what each colored art does, and the different effects you get from comboing certain colored arts into each other. So it is nice that they actually have a guide sort of on screen here to help with that. Something else I'm sure a lot of you have noticed if you had watched this gameplay, there is a video on YouTube showcasing around like 7 minutes of exclusive gameplay about XDE. I'll link that in the description in case you want to watch it. But for those of you who have watched it, I'm sure you noticed in the gameplay the skells were up to level 83. Now this is a pretty big deal because in the original game, on land and skell combat, the max level was 60, so now it looks like they raised it to level 99, which kind of it's kind of causes some speculation because we do know that we're getting more story content in the game, so that kind of begs the question if the new like side game that like Future Connected got like a Xenoblade 1 DE got with Future Connected, we're all kind of assuming X is going to get a same type of thing. But what if that is implemented into the main game? Since the level cap is higher, there's obviously going to be more content to explore. So is the floating continent going to be its own side game outside of the main story, or is that going to be implemented in the main story near the end? It's really interesting to see, and it's kind of cool to see if there's going to be any more super bosses, and if so, they might be even higher level. So Telethia Endbringer might not even be the highest level super boss anymore at level 99, or they may just raise it from level 99 to like 120 or something. So it's really interesting to see this, and I assume this also goes for ground combat, where we are able to go up to level 99 or whatever cap is. And I'm not really sure where in the gameplay this is at, but apparently, according to some comments, we are allowed to pick up collectibles, overworld collectibles, like the little diamond things, while in combat, which is very helpful. There are a lot of times where I'd be going around collecting the collectibles, and then I accidentally run over like a very tiny enemy in my skell, and now it initiates combat and I can't pick up any collectibles, so I either have to beat them or run away. So this is going to be very helpful for grinding, like Collectopedia, or grinding for quests or what else. So this is also a very nice change if it is true. Now getting into the bigger additions, we have a brand new skell that we will be able to pilot, and along with it a brand new character, which will most likely be a playable character that we can recruit along with their skell. Now I'm not sure if the skell will be craftable like all of the other skells, or if this is a special skell where you only get one of it along with that new character that we saw with the helmet on. So I'm not really sure, but this skell is named Hresvelg, and it comes with a katana for its like main weapon. So it's very cool. It looks so dope, especially when it's flying around. It looks all futuristic, kind of reminds me of Xenosaga, funnily enough. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this skell can do and what kind of weapons it comes with. I am curious if it is like the Ares, where it only comes with certain weapons and you can't swap the weapons out, but it has very strong weapons that are unique to it. So I'm excited to see what all that's about. And possibly the biggest is this character right here, Nil. She was a scrapped character from the original game, and she actually appears with some concept art in the Xenoblade X art book. I can show on screen right here. This is what her concept art looks like. But she is going to be playing a very big role in this story, and she kind of has a relationship with two other unknown characters that weren't really introduced. They were in the original game, but they're playing a bigger role in the story here, and she shares the name with them, Nilnail Albus and Nilnail Fervis, which we can see these two skells right here. And these are not just like robot enemies, these are skells, which means there are characters piloting them that we have no idea about. These are skells of unknown origin. We know nothing about them, and they don't look like our typical skells, given that they have faces on them and they're just shaped differently. And Albus even has like a fucking Saturn floating over its shoulder. But these two actually appear in base Xenoblade X in 2 missions. They appear in the squad mission, the Unknown Threat, and the time attack mission, Twin Dolls of Mystery. So these two characters are going to be playing a bigger role in the game than they did in the original, as I'm sure was planned from the very beginning. They kind of remind me of Richard and Herman from Xenosaga, but these two Nilnails will have some kind of connection to Nilnail, the character, the Chlorian character, and which, speaking of that, Nilnail, a female character, she is another addition to the Chlorian race. As of the original game, Celica is the only Chlorian in the entire game on all of Mira. So it looks like the Chlorian race is going to be expanded upon from the clue system, the star system. So I'm very excited to see what they do with her and those two skills. Now the next addition is the introduction and our first look, at least close-up look, of the Tandem skell that Elma and her partner had piloted at the beginning of the game when they were defending the white whale from the ghosts, or the ganglion when they caught up. So we get a closer look at it, and we can see the joints and the chests kind of look like Ouroboros, like cores. Now, I'm not saying that this is connecting X to the main trilogy. Most likely what it is that the Ouroboros were kind of designed after the skell. I think it was confirmed somewhere, I'm not sure where, but if you look at the concept art, this skell looks a lot like an Ouroboros, so it's likely that Ouroboros were based off of the concept art of this skell. So I'm not saying this is connecting anything, it's just Takahashi being cheeky again with references. And another scrapped character from the original game making an appearance here is the Black Knight, which we see a bit of a closer look than in the cliffhanger from the ending. We can see that he has white hair, and the community has just been joking that this is Albedo. A lot of people thought it was Malos for some reason in the first DE trailer, because kind of sounds like Malos. I mean, I guess I can kind of hear it, but not really. And now they're just joking that it's Albedo because of the white hair, but it looks like he has dark skin, so obviously it's not Albedo, and it's not like it was Albedo in the first place. But he does play a pretty important role here in the story, like he was supposed to in the original game. Like, Xenoblade XDE is adding in a lot of cut content from the original. Now that they have more resources and time and just hardware power, they can actually add all of this stuff into the game like they wanted to initially. And Xenoblade X would have been even more ambitious than it already is. It's truly wild how massive this game is. And finally, the part that most people are excited for is the new area, and this is just simply called the Floating Continent. So this is a continent up in the sky and not in like an ocean crater like I had initially thought, although it looks like it's surrounded by a ring of water. So I'm not really too sure what that's all about, unless there's an ocean in the sky. Okay, like, I'm not even gonna get started on that. But this area looks very interesting, unlike anything we've seen on Mira, and it kind of reminds me of Erythia Sea a little bit. So I'm not sure if that has any connection. Again, I'm not saying that it does, I'm just saying there are similarities. So I mean, maybe Takahashi is trying to connect X to the main trilogy and Team Saga lost. Maybe Xenosaga is losing this one. We'll just have to wait until the game comes out to see the full story. But this area is definitely interesting. I'm not sure if this is going to be a post-game area, like I said, or it's just going to be attached to its own separate story mode. And considering the Japanese website for Xenoblade XDE, it says something about post-game story coming soon, or something about some story coming soon. So this is most likely there's most likely going to be a side game, which I still really hope they call Future Frontier, because I think that is a dope name. I will never get over that. I will always be proud of myself for that. Future Frontier is such a cool name, and it would fit perfectly for the theme of Xenoblade X, and sticking with the future type of name for the side games like Future Connected and Future Redeemed. So this area, I'm kind of excited to see what it is, and it looks like there is like a big stronghold in the middle of it where we will be confronting a very important character that we are probably not expecting. There's going to be a character in that stronghold that no one is expecting, that either canonizes X or canonizes Xenosaga. All right, whatever it is, whoever's in there, they're going to be a big deal that no one's expecting. So I'm very excited to see what that's all about. And to my knowledge, that is all of the new, like, biggest features, or I guess new things to come in DE, minus the collectible thing. That's more of like an upgrade or a change. But all of these are pretty interesting, and from what we saw in just the second trailer, Xenoblade X is getting a massive glow up. All right, this really is a definitive edition. This is how you do a remaster, and I will talk more about that in a different video. But that's really all we have so far as I was able to find. As far as I know, that's really all of the biggest changes that we know of for now, until Nintendo drops a tweet at 3 a.m. or Monolith Soft drops a tweet at 3 a.m. tomorrow with some more information, but we should be getting, I know I said before that we weren't going to get any more trailers, but given the fact, like I showed earlier with the Luxon tweet about how there's like the new story coming soon, we might be getting a new trailer kind of showcasing that a little bit right before Xenoblade X actually drops. So very excited for that. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. But that's really about it. See you next mission and play some goddamn Xenoblade.